Have you ever wondered why your body shivers when the weather is cold, sweat when the weather is hot, and you breathe out when there are lots of carbon dioxide in your lung? These are the process of your body trying to maintain a stable condition when the condition is unstable. This is also known as homeostasis. Homeostasis is a process of maintaining biological constant or stable condition inside a living organism or in your body. So in homeostasis, there are three components to maintain the balance: receptor, control center, and effector. So if there are any imbalance of temperature, pH level, blood pressure, glucose level, or water in your body, this component will go into action. One of the mechanisms to maintain homeostasis is the negative feedback mechanism. Basically, if there are any changes from the normal condition, this will stimulate the control mechanism to prevent any further changes. For example, you have a normal body temperature, but suddenly your body temperature decrease because of the weather. When your body temperature decrease, it will cause your body to shiver. Shivering is caused by the rapid movement of your muscle. When your muscle keep on moving, causing the shivering, it will increase back your body temperature into normal. But what happens when your body temperature increase due to the hot weather? When your body temperature increase, you will start to sweat. The sweating, the water from the sweat will act as a cooling material to decrease back your body temperature into normal. So we will look at how negative feedback mechanism is used to control the blood glucose level. Pancreas is the organ that is responsible to regulate the glucose level in our blood. Specifically, in the pancreas is the islet of Langerhans. In the islet of Langerhans contain two cells, alpha cells and beta cells. These two cells will secrete hormones that are insulin and glucagon, which will responsible to maintain the blood glucose level. Now let's look at what happens when the blood glucose level is imbalanced. After you have your meal, it will cause the blood glucose level in your body to rise from the normal level. This phenomena is called as hyperglycemia. When the blood glucose level increase, this will be detected by the islet of Langerhans in your pancreas. So we have our islet of Langerhans as sensor and integration center. The beta cells in the islet of Langerhans will secrete hormone insulin. Hormone insulin will travel in the blood vessel to the adipose tissue, to the muscle cell, and also to the liver cells. Once the insulin reaches these cells, it will stimulate glucose uptake from the blood vessel. For the liver cell and the muscle cell, the glucose will enter this cell and will be converted into glycogen. This process is called as glycogenesis. In the adipose tissue, the glucose will be converted into fat. When these cells uptake the glucose from the blood level, this will reduce the glucose level in our blood, thus return it back to normal. You can see in this diagram how beta cell will secrete insulin and release insulin into the blood vessel. Once in the blood vessel, the insulin will travel to the muscle cell, to the adipose tissue, and also to the liver. And once it reaches the cells, it will stimulate the cells to uptake glucose from the blood level into their cells, thus decreasing the level of glucose in our blood. For diabetic patient, you can see how they have to inject themselves with insulin after they eat. Basically, this is because diabetic patients have a malfunction pancreas where they are unable to produce insulin. Now let's look at what happens when the blood glucose level decreases. When you are fasting, the blood glucose level will drop from normal. This phenomena is called as hypoglycemia. When the blood glucose level drops, this will also be detected by the islet of Langerhans. In the islet of Langerhans, the alpha cell will secrete glucagon hormone. Glucagon will enter the blood vessel and then travel to the adipose tissue as well as the liver cell. Once the glucagon reaches these two cells, it will stimulate the liver cell to convert the glycogen back into glucose. This process is called as glycogenolysis. In the adipose tissue, the glucagon will stimulate the conversion of fatty acid into glucose. This process is called as gluconeogenesis. Once the glucose are formed, this glucose will diffuse into the blood vessel, thus increasing back the blood glucose level into normal. And those are how our body regulates the glucose level in our blood.